Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. I want to send double honor to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me the truth and who rule well. Peace, love, and safety out there to the hopeful elect, presenting your body as a living sacrifice, and also risking your freedom that you may do the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, a hearty shalom as well to the few sincere women that subscribe to the true doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. This is the brother you call him off with the Great Millstone, Nebraska camp, coming back once again. Lord willing to feed and edify the lost sheep of the nation of Israel, consisting of the so-called Negro, the so-called Hispanics, the so-called Native Americans today. And I just want to get straight into this lesson. I will get into the inspiration for this lesson, briefly. One of the latest videos that the elder Apostle Gabar did, and the name of it is "This is what we should be talking about and preparing our minds for." And really going into the times that we're coming into, the time of Jacob's trouble, the time where our faith will be tested, as men of the Lord, women as well. We were going to face, a statement that the Apostle Gabar said is we will all face our darkest hour, right? I did a simple Google search on this term, and it says the darkest hour is the time when bad events are at their worst and most dispiriting. Also, it is a term used to describe a period of great difficulty or adversity in a person's life, right? Which is going into what? Jacob's trouble. It is going into a time where our faith will be tested, okay? Prime example would be the MOTB, okay? Where it says, which Lord will and I will get that precept, really speaks about the hour of temptation that shall come upon all the world. Okay, matter of fact, I'll just start with that. I'll just read that. Revelation 3 and verse 10. It says this, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. And that's talking about the time with the implementation of this MOTB or this RFID, okay, is going to be presented to all the world. Really, it's going to be a source of income. Okay, a source of income is going to be convenient for your living. The reason why I say it's convenient for your living is because there was an article that came out within the last few weeks, where Esau created an incentive with this MOTB that if you take this MOTB, it's going to be added on top of your regular income. Okay, whether it's $2,000, $5,000, $8,000, whatever, and with people already struggling to make ends meet right now, who wouldn't jump on that opportunity of saying, yeah, I'll take an extra $2,000-$3,000 on top of what my job's already paying me? Hell yeah, I'll be well off. Okay, but at the end of the day, what you're going to be doing is consenting to your freedom being taken away, right? Because you're going to be tracked, right? You can't just make any move that you want to make. Essentially, you will be able to maneuver through society, once this is implemented upon everyone. Okay, you will be able to move through society. That's why it says in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, what it speaks on is he that shouldn't worship the image of the beast should be killed. When you go into the etymology of that word "killed," it essentially means to be separated. Okay, and that's what the hour we're gonna have to face, man. As men of the Lord, what we have, Lord, and this is why we say, Lord willing, the Most High puts the Spirit on us to not take that MOTB, because we could say it right now, and I ain't taking that chip. We can say that, and we can think we mean it, but when adversity hits, our darkest hour hits, you're gonna have that same mindset, And let me get this real quick. I'd rather get this out of my sword. In the book of Maccabees. to the book of Maccabees, Second Maccabees, that is. Is this it? Yeah. It's, going into the the seven sons. Okay, I'm trying to find the end of it, find a good point, because when you read this passage, it goes into how these men, these seven brothers and their mother, the great deal of faith that Yahweh Shema Shai bestowed upon them, to be able to continue to serve Yahweh Shema Shai and not disobey His commandments, even though you're being tormented and put to death in the most gruesome ways, So I want to get it. The fifth brother. I'm looking for the part where it says, I gotta find that part specifics. No, because it says that they were willing to die manfully, right? They're willing to die manfully. Okay. Okay, it's towards the beginning. So so I'll just read it from the top to verse 5, and I'll expound on the point. This Second Maccabees 7:1. It says, it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken, and were compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first said thus, What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. Right? And that's a good point as well, because this is the mindset that we pray and hope to acquire when those times are right in front of our face. Okay, so things are easier said than done, man. Okay, it says, then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith, being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the outermost part of his body. The rest of his brethren and his mother looking alone. And this is the point. It says, now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan. As for the vapor of the pan, it was for a good space dispersed, and exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus, the Lord Yahweh looketh upon us, and the truth and in truth have comfort in us. And Moses and his son, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants. So the point is, and this should be the mindset of everyone who calls upon the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. Not like IUIC and ISUPK that they tell their members it's okay to get the Yabawaki, man. Okay? But we're willing to die manfully for the Lord, man. Then this is a mindset that we're supposed to push, not only on the brethren that are around us, but on those on the outside too, that are Israelites, man. Okay? We have to be willing to die manfully, man. Have to be willing to suffer for the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay? So now let me move on to these scriptures that I have. If I didn't say it before, Lord willing, this is edifying, man. So let's get Revelation 3 verse 10. Revelation 3 verse 10 says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. I did get into this. I'll read it again just to finish it. Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Because this is when the MOTB is implemented, we're all going to have to face that temptation of, damn, do we want to take it? Should we take it? Should we not? But knowing subconsciously via through the scriptures that we're not supposed to take this chip. Okay? Now, the only reason that will incline us to take this MOTB is if we're not tending upon the Lord, if we're not gathering up our oil, if we're not, as the apostle said, if we're not prepping our minds for these times to come. right? This is let me get this, Isaiah uh, chapter 33 verse 6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure. You know, and that stability going into the word Amawan, the Hebrew word Amawan, meaning faith, your fidelity. Okay, and this is the things that we gathering up right now, via through the wisdom, gathering our oil, you know, and utilizing it. As as not only the brother here, the elder brother Rod, the mom says a lot, but from the other apostles, Tahar on down, they say this. Okay, and we ought to have that mindset of applying the things that we learn, because these are going to be the things that help us get through these times. Okay, while you have 2/3 of our people via our family, people that work at your job, whoever they may be, they're not gathering up the knowledge that accompanies salvation. They're not preparing their minds to I hate not to be sovereign, but to be separated from their master, being Esau Edom. Knowing how to live on their own, live off the land. And many of us don't, not really cultivated in that either. But we are we're still building our faith wherever we can. We're building in every opportunity that we can. We're trying to make sure that we're compliant with the standards of Yahweh Shema Shai, and that we're using these things. Using these things, talking about the scriptures. Okay. It says, behold, their valiant ones shall cry without, the ambassadors of peace shall weep bitterly. Because, hey, let's get this. Ecclesiastes 12:1, it says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. Right now we are coming into those evil times. You see different type of judgment the Most High is pushing out throughout the world. For example, this last judgment that the Most High allowed Esau Edom to do, over in Maui. There are a lot of people that suffer from that. I believe the last time I checked, the death toll was north of 100. And there were a lot of people that were displaced. And the reason why I say we know what Esau's doing there, in Maui, but that's part of the tribulation. You got fish that are coming up out of the water. Because the water's so damn polluted, it's hard for them to breathe. You got whales appearing on the seashore because they can't breathe. They'd rather take their chances on land than in that filthy ass water where they can't breathe. You got birds dropping out of the sky. You got all different types of things that are happening, right? You got people dropping dead from this medicine, all right? Young men, young individuals, and ultimately the Most High allowing these things to happen. But these are part of the evil times, okay? Because you go into the word evil. Eve meaning time, vil meaning bad, okay, bad times, and we're living in bad times now, all right? Reading on, it says, nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after their rain, right? And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. So there's going to be and you got a lot of people walk. Was that in I just seen it. There was a bunch of places are losing business. Damn it, it escapes me. I'll move on, but there's just going to be a time where jobs are not going to be available. A lot of people are going to be getting laid off because they can't the company can't pay them. The company doesn't have the resources or funds to pay them. So this is putting those who work for that company in a bad position to have to figure out, how am I going to make ends meet? And that can cause something to go crazy, man. That can cause chaos. That can cause fear of not being able to take care of your family. Okay. And damn, that a little upset about that. Lord willing, I'll find that. But all these individuals that are, if you're not tending upon the Lord, no matter how mighty you are in spirit, how strong you are physically, You know how many math equations you can figure out. You know how many Rubik's cubes you can put together. You know, there everybody's faith is gonna be tested, right? It don't matter. It don't matter what status you have in this world. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be fun times for any of us, man. Okay, let's move on to another scripture. Something else that came to mind. Sirach, the 5th chapter. Let's see. Sirach 5, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 7. And this is talking to us, us that are within the know. All right. Really, it's talking to everybody, every Israelite. It says, Sirach 5 and 7 says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. Right? So this is pretty much what it's going into, making no tarrying to turn to the Lord and put not off from day to day. I'll read tomorrow. I'll do this lesson later. I'll come to the Lord when I'm done living my life. Right? It says, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And the wrath of the Lord is going to come forth. And in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of thy vengeance, because you thinking that you have a bunch of time before you have to, before you buckle down and serve Yahweh Shem Shai. But the times are short, man. The times are short and the days are evil. So we have no time we don't have any time to bullshit, man. Not now one of us, including myself, especially myself. Because when we speak of these things, we have to filter through us first. What are my works? How often am I serving Yahweh Shem Shai? Okay, how often am I doing videos? How often am I tending to the sheep, tending to the flock, making sure that brothers are okay? How am I serving Yahweh Shem Shai? Right? Because you can think that you're content. I mean, you can be content and think that you're straight in the Most High. Hey, something that the brother said recently. Just kind of paraphrasing it. You could be thinking you were on point. I'm a man of the Lord, and the Lord got me. But you ain't doing no studying, you're doing no reading. The things that I mentioned, you're not tending to the flock, right? You're not being your brother's keeper. You're not being a man of the Lord. Essentially, you think that you straight because you know the name, you hit the highways, and you put up videos, but it takes more than that, man. So let's move on to the next one. Let me get that. Matthew, the 25th chapter. Right? It's Matthew 25 and verse 1 says, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 of them were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. And this oil is what? The word, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this word. Cultivating, really cultivating your talents within Yahweh Shem Shai, right? It says, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps, while the bridegroom tarried. They all slumbered and slept. Talking about the 5 foolish virgins. They all slumbered and slept. All right, and who's the bridegroom? The bridegroom is Yahweh Shai. Okay, because he, as it says in the previous chapter, roughly paraphrasing about the man of the house that left the man that left on a long journey and left his house unto others. And that's talking about the men of the Lord. Those others left his house to the men of the Lord. Right? Yahweh Shai is patiently waiting on the green light from the Heavenly Father Yahweh to come back and do damage to this place, to destroy this place, to set this place ablaze, man. Okay? And to kill all the wicked. Right? Shocking. It says, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh. Right? And right now that's what the men of the Lord, that's what they're saying. Look, the bridegroom cometh. Right? And the way that he's coming, we go through the different prophecies. Right? This is how we know that he is at the door. Okay? It says the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Right? So this is essentially saying, look, man, it's time to tighten up. The Lord's on the way. All right, repent ye and turn unto the Lord, man, and serve Him. Okay. It says, then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the unwise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. So the wise, what they did is they hearkened unto the voice of the Lord. You know, they cultivated their talents within Yahweh Shema Shai. They began to seek Him and to know what's expected of them in order to serve Him, right? But those unwise, or those individuals, and now this is the point I want to make, you know, in reference to the Sirach 5, you know, because this can also refer to us that are within the know, that have this truth, but we're not building, we're not growing, we're not cultivating, we're not like it goes into later in this chapter about the talents. We're not flipping our talents. Okay. Let me get back to the point. I kind of lost my point. Verse 8. It says, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. So when we don't flip our talents and we don't cultivate our craft, being in Yahweh Shema Shai, then essentially, guess what? The Most High ain't going to be dealing with you. He's not going to protect you when these evil times come, time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, when the MOTB is presented, He's going to put you in a weakened mindset. Okay, He's going to have you begging and pleading to the man of the Lord, please help us. Calling upon Yahweh Shema Shai, please preserve us. But that's not going to be so, right? Because it says that not all that call say Lord, Lord. Matter of fact, I'm going to grab that. Right. Let's see if I can find it. Well, man, this is a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna get this. No, I'm gonna get into the scripture I want. Damn it. Lord will not get that here in a second. We know it says not all that say Lord, Lord, unto me shall be saved. You know, roughly paraphrasing. You know, so and also what it says in Matthew, it says why callest thou me? I believe it's in somewhere in the gospel. It says, why callest thou me Lord, and do not the things I say. I believe it's in Luke. But let's get back to this Matthew 25. All right. It says, verse 9, but the unwise answer, saying, not so, least there be not enough for us and for you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. Yeah, because it says that what? Everyone has a chance to get it right. Every Israelite has a chance to get it right, because it says in verse 6, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh. That's a warning. The bridegroom coming, come out to meet him. All right. So that was a calling for the foolish virgins to, hey, man, come on. Hey, you too, come on, get your shit together, man. Tighten up, because the Lord's coming. Okay? And these are individuals that didn't take heed. They didn't work. You know, they didn't, they didn't read. They didn't study. They didn't turn to the Lord. Which, you know, Israel is known for being rebellious. But, hey, there's a consequence for our rebellion. Okay, it says, verse 10, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. You know, and that mercy door is shutting. Okay, that mercy door is shutting, but, you know, circling back around to the point is when destruction is coming upon this place, when a famine hits hard, many people are going to be in distress, and they're not going to know how to deal with it. You know, going back to that term, it says the darkest hour is a time when bad events are at their worst and most dispiriting. You know, this is going to be a time that breaks your spirit. Okay, when you don't know how you gonna eat, when you don't know wild beasts running around. You can't go to your home because your home's been invaded. Okay, or whatever. You're pretty much gonna be in with out in the elements, trying to figure out how to survive. Like in those type of movies, like The Road, the Walking Dead series. Um, well, those are the main two that come to mind. But no, those type of scenarios when we may have to deal with them type of scenarios. And how we gonna survive? At least we depend upon the words of Yahweh Shema Shai to guide us through and really utilize them, right? So I believe that was it. Well, I'm going to get this and then I'll close it out. But the dark times are coming, and our mind must be prepared for it, man. Our mind must be prepared for it. This is Jeremiah 30, verse 7, right? It says, alas, for that day is great, and this also going into that definition for darkest hour. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, right? And Jacob is just another name for Israel because our forefather's name was Jacob before it got changed to Israel, okay, after he fought with the angel, okay? But it says that he should be saved out of it. And who is that's going to be saved out of it? That's the elect, okay? Those who called upon the name and served Yahweh Shema Shai, right? Not only in their darkest time, not only in their the times of prosperity, okay? Wait, no, Slakia. How do I want to say this? They called upon the Lord in prosperity and in affliction, all right? No matter what was going on, they called upon the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. They served him and they did what he said to do. These are the ones that are going to make it out of it. The Lord is going to lift up a standard for his elect, okay? And this is how the elect is going to be preserved from hurt, right? So with that being said, I just wanted to expound on that statement that the elder Apostle Gabar said, and I pray that this was an edifying video. So with that being said, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Akakwadash. Double honor to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Peace, love, and safety to the elect. Shalom.